I was 28 years old. I was living in Japan. English novelist A.S. Byatt had actually asked my publisher if I could kind of be flown back to London to read at an event that she was doing, and they put me in a posh hotel. And until that point, I'd spent all my life in scrubby little hostels and things. And all of a sudden, I was really intimidated. I was in this big, beautiful hotel, and just walked into my room, put down my bags, and there was a big full-length mirror there. And it was just then, wow, I'm here just because I've written something. And if I suppose I'm a writer then. I hadn't given up the day job at that point, but it's a process. You begin to sort of get little glimmerings of the idea that you are a writer, and they become stronger and brighter, and then there's more of the idea that you are a writer than there is the idea that you're not a writer. And then eventually all those faces go, and perhaps a few years later you've given up the day job and this is how you earn your living, and what else are you going to call yourself? Two things are true. They're apparently contradictory, but that's writing for you. On the one hand, you mustn't think of your readers when you write, because which reader? You can't do it. You have to write for yourself, otherwise you just get into a sort of maelstrom of self-correction and angst if you're thinking kind of, well, this might please liberal New York, but the mid-plane Christians are going to hate it, and oh, my etc., etc. You have to get rid of all of that. On the other hand, you have to consider your reader insofar as there are anthropological limits on reading. You know, a 600-page sentence with the subject mentioned only once at the beginning is beyond the anthropological limits. Not a bad idea, actually. I might have a go at that one, but that's beyond the accepted anthropological limits of reading. Finnegan's Wake, you know, it's a monolith of world literature, but people can't read it. Generally, only uber readers can, and there's not enough of them to go around. So I think of my wife, actually. She's a tired, busy, rather critical when it comes to books mum, and I think as I write, and I find out shortly after, actually, when I show her the manuscript, but would such a person be able to stay with me and want to stay with me? So on this hand, I think of my reader with every sentence I write, and both of those statements are true. In the last 3 or 4 months of finishing a book, and it's happening to me right now, again, knew it would, and it always will, I hope, you become harangued by thoughts about the next book, which is nagging at you to drop this bitch and come with me. And you have to ignore it, but it makes it very, very clear what you'll be writing next. In fact, I know which the next 2 books are, because they're kind of linked. And I badly want to start working on them. And sort of this desire to start on the next is also simply the flip side of your fatigue and your weariness and your anxiety and your despair with the thing you're trying to finish. That's it.